Tonight I'm traveling on what turned out to be my most scary train journey yet. Leaving from Chişinău, the capital of Europe's most mysterious country, Moldova, we'll travel through the night up to the border with Romania, where we not only have our train wheels changed, but also pick up a 4-hour delay from what turned out to be the most scary border crossing I've ever done. Join me as I travel on the last of the Soviet-era sleeper trains that still makes its way into Europe. This is the Chişinău to Bucharest night train. Tonight's journey starts from the Chişinău railway station. There's been a station roughly on this location since 1871, but the modern day station building is actually from 2003. The main access to the station is through this heavy wooden door, which takes you right into the main station concourse. Immediately inside the station we are greeted by these electronic arrival and departure displays, which seems to be more of a memorial as the St. Petersburg train hasn't run in ages. In general, the timetable information seems to be more of a relic of a bygone era, with the paper display still listing cancelled train services to far-flung places like Varna, Saratov and Moscow. But apart from that, the station is otherwise kept in a great condition. There's a small cafe here, as well as a staff ticket office and information desk, and enough aquariums to start a small pet store. There's even a small model railway here. This is actually one of the most pleasant stations I've ever waited for my train at. Really good job, Moldova. It's eerily quiet outside under the station canopy. The station only sees about 4 to 6 trains a day, consisting of local service to Benda and Ungheni and international service to Iași and Bucharest, as well as the recently relaunched night train to Kyiv in Ukraine, which I caught departing the station a day prior. I can't wait to visit Ukraine sometime in the future. Around 90 minutes before the departure, the preparation for our train starts with the shunter appearing from the nearby depot, then reversing back to collect the sleeper wagons, then pulling out the wagons from the depot, and finally pulling them onto the departure platform, ready for tonight's sleeper train down to Bucharest. The shunter then detaches from the front of the train, and our mainline locomotive is then attached to the consist, which will then pull us as far as the Moldovan border town. This is a TE33AC locomotive built by GE for delivery to Moldova in 2020. These are capable of speeds of up to 120 km per hour. Safely settled in on board, we are leaving Chişinău right on time. And let me tell you, the vibes on board these trains are certainly very retro. Anyway, before I show you the cabin, let's take a closer look at the route we'll be taking tonight. We are on board train 401, also called Friendship, from Chişinău to Bucharest. Leaving daily from Chişinău, we run non-stop to the border town of Ungheni, crossing into Romania, where we make several stops during the night on our way towards Bucharest. The train covers a distance of 595 kilometers, which is planned to, but might take way longer, 12 hours and 59 minutes, giving the train an average speed of 46 kilometers per hour. After departure, it was already dark outside as I was traveling during the winter months. And the track quality here in Moldova really leaves a lot to be desired. But on the upside, you really get the feeling that you're traveling, bouncing along like this. Anyway, let me show you around the 2-person sleeper cabin. They have been retrofitted with power outlets, which is a nice addition, and there's one for every bed. There's also a pretty large table, which is good for eating or working on. Beneath the bed is where you will find a nice blanket. Up above is where you will find the bedding as well as luggage storage. And the door can be completely closed as well as locked from the inside only. The staff will come around with the bed linen shortly after departure. You will also find slightly cheaper 4-person compartments on board this train, which also looks up to the same standard as the 2-person sleepers. Anyway, let's go explore the rest of the train. I really love these hanging plant pots, just swinging along with the train's movement. Crossing between the train cars is a bit scary. It's basically pitch black out here, and you have to pull these really heavy doors to get through to the other carriage. But out by the doors you can see how the trains get their heat. It's not centrally distributed, but instead each carriage has their own furnace. The train also features a small cafe car. It's cash only and only sells drinks and smaller snacks, so for anything substantial, bring your own food. And nothing better to get the appetite going than a toilet review. As with the rest of the train, it's really dark in here, but the lock was working. And the sink had working water. There was also soap. The toilet was one of those old school ones that dispenses right onto the track. Plenty of towels and toilet paper. Good job CFM, this is in good condition. And soon enough we were coming up on the border town of Ungheni, where the journey would really start to become eventful. Moldova uses wider Russian gauge track, while Romania uses the more common standard gauge, meaning our train needs to have its wheels swapped to match the track in Romania. This is a time-consuming process, but you remain on board the train during the entirety of it. The body of the carriage is lifted up. The wider Russian gauge wheels are then removed. New standard gauge wheels are then with careful precision put back in place. The carriages are then lowered back onto the wheels. The train is then shunted back to the platform at Ungheni, where border control takes place. This initially went smoothly as the immigration officers board the train, takes your passport to stamp you out of the country and then hands it back to you shortly afterwards. And shortly afterwards 3 customs officers appeared and kicked me out of my compartment. None of them spoke any English, so I had actually no idea what was going on for a while. Luckily, the people in the compartment next to me were able to translate into English what was going on. Essentially, the customs officer's equipment had detected some form of substance near my compartment, and they had to take it apart to try and find it. Obviously not wanting to cause trouble with the officer's work, I didn't film any of it. But they spent 4 hours disassembling every part of my compartment to try and find whatever they were looking for. In the end, I'm not sure they found whatever they detected. But I was happy to finally be moving onwards to Romania after almost 4 hours of lingering in the corridor while they were searching through the compartment. The train then proceeds to a brief stop at the Romanian border station at Ungheni, and a swift and effective passport control is then carried out on board. And finally, a little past 2 AM, the checks were finally completed and we can now proceed as a domestic train in Romania. At long last, it's time to shut off the lights and go close the blinds and get some sleep after all these tiring checks. The track quality inside Romania is noticeably better, but it still doesn't make for a great night of sleep. I did wake up quite a few times during the night, but in the end I think I did manage to get about 6 hours of sleep on and off. I woke up near the town of Ploiești, roughly 40 minutes out from Bucharest. During the night we managed to make up some of the delay, as we are currently running about 3 hours behind schedule. I opted to eat my pre-catered Eastern European breakfast from a local Moldovan supermarket. And it wasn't long after that we were approaching Bucharest on this rather drab January morning. It's time to summarize the journey. At just 241 Romanian lei or 49 euros, this is outstanding value for solo occupancy in a private night train compartment. Considering the distance traveled, I think it might even be the cheapest in Europe. Tickets can easily be booked online on the Moldovan Railways website or the Romanian Railways website. However, these tickets bought on the Romanian Railways website have to be picked up physically inside Romania. so do not use it for journeys starting in Chişinău. But even though the price is great, I'm still a bit conflicted overall on what to think of this train. The carriages are dated, the ride quality is generally poor, and while the border officers were likely just doing their job, a 4-hour delay isn't great or fun. But on the other hand, I'm not sure I'd fancy a 7-hour bus ride on Moldovan and Romanian roads. One thing that's for sure, this train certainly is an experience, so I'm gonna pass the question off to you. Would you ride this night train? And here we are arriving into the platforms at București Gardinor railway station, with a final delay of 3 hours and 5 minutes. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I try to upload a new video every Sunday. You can also follow me on Twitter at IntercitySimon, where I post live from my travels. It's a great place to follow me if you want a sneak peek of what travel videos might be coming in the future. Thanks for watching.